The video switching portion of the VR-50HD is set up to offer flexibility in not only input source options, but also in workflow and presentation options. First, let's start with the inputs and outputs on the back of the unit. There are 4 SDI inputs that can accept SD, HD, or 3G SDI signals. There are 4 HDMI inputs, 2 RGB component inputs, and 2 composite inputs. We'll talk about how these inputs can be used in a moment. There are many video outputs on the VR-50HD. Outputs include 2 SDI, 2 HDMI, 2 RGB component, and of course the USB streaming output. Additionally, there is a multi-view HDMI output. This output can be used in conjunction with any 1080p, HDCP compatible video monitor to give the operator a larger view of each of the video inputs, still picture, and program and preview windows all in one screen. Now let's move to the user interface of the video switching section. The video section is situated on the right-hand side of the unit. The first thing you'll want to do is to assign the input video sources to one of the 4 mixing channels. Press the Input Assign button. The touchscreen changes to a quad view and overlays the input options for each of the mixing channels. For channels 1 and 2, you have the full complement of options: SDI, HDMI, composite, and RGB component. For channels 3 and 4, you have the options of SDI and HDMI. Select the inputs that you would like to use by tapping on the option. Press the Input Assign button again to exit the menu. Press the Setup button under the Transition section. Here you can set up parameters of the wipe transition. Choose the pattern, direction, and border of your wipe. Press the Setup button again to close the menu. Now you are ready to mix between your video inputs. I'm going to switch to my program out, so you'll be able to see the mix I'm outputting from the VR-50HD, and you can see the buttons that I'll be using to attain the desired transition. Choose Cut for an immediate switch to the next selected source. Mix to dissolve from one source to the next. Or Wipe, which transitions the sources using the pattern we defined. Use the Time knob to set the transition time for the mix and wipe functions. This allows for switching smoothly and evenly from one source to the next at the desired pace. The video input select buttons can be used to switch sources or can be switched by touching the image on the monitor in either the multi-view or input view mode.